You are tuned in to another edition of Americana Music Profiles, brought to you by Americana Rhythm Music Magazine and AmericanaMusicMagazine.com. I'm your host, Greg Tutwiler. Let's jump right in to the next exciting interview. Jim Stevens' Yellow River album is his fourth release in 36 months on Rope-A-Dope Records, but he says he's not done yet. He says he actually has 5 more albums in the planning stages for the near future. He says music is just all about expression, and Jim is a music-making machine. We talk about that and a whole lot more in this next edition of Americana Music Profiles. So I'm speaking with Jim and Ariel today on the podcast. Welcome, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, good to be here.
Thank you for having us.
So you guys, do I have this right? Are you guys in Philadelphia? Is that where we're speaking to you from?
Yes, I'm currently in Philadelphia.
Yeah, awesome. Cool.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Every day.
Good. So, yeah. Well, and I'm in Virginia, so we're both on the East Coast, and we're both feeling the heat at the moment that we're having this conversation. It's quite warm out today.
Ooh, it is hot, yeah.
So, Jim, if you don't mind, give me a little bit of background on yourself and what led you into a music career, how this all started for you in the beginning.
What led me into a music career? Just it's all a healing thing. Just expression, man. Just art, you know.
Yeah.
You can be on stage and you can be playing like John Coltrane or John Popper or Arcadum, or you could be just milking every note like B.B. King, and it could be sad or anger or frustration or even happy, but the audience doesn't know what emotion you're feeling, but they feel something.
Yeah.
So it's all healing and expression for me.
Yeah, for sure. Is this something that was part of your life as a young person, or did this happen later in life? How did that begin for you?
Yeah, I got a late start. I think, I didn't start playing or doing anything artistically until after high school.
Okay.
So I was like, probably close to 20 before I even started doing anything.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of my friends in life and everywhere else have like forever on me because, these cats playing when they're like 4 years old, man, 3 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm like a grown adult, like, oh, this works. I can do this. But I started way late.
Have you always been in the northern part of the United States? Is that basically home for you?
No, New Orleans is.
Okay. All right.
I was born in Philly, but New Orleans is home.
He was waiting for you to ask that question.
So born in Philly, New Orleans, and then but you're back in Philly now. So is this a kind of a permanent relocation, or you kind of spend time between both? No.
I'm only here for maybe 8 more weeks. And then I'm back in New Orleans. Yeah, I'm just here. Yeah.
Okay.
Do not ask Jimmy about Philly. Just don't do it.
so New
I
Orleans.
love Philly. If it's worth anything.
So Ariel's at home for you, or am I getting in deeper now?
No, I'm from Brooklyn originally, but I moved to Philly like about 2 years ago now.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's home. It's home for me now, and met some really, really great people, some really great musicians in the city. It's kind of been where I've started my music career.
Yeah. Okay. And when did you get involved with Jim and the music?
Probably about a year ago.
Okay.
It was a year ago. I had graduated from Haverford College with a biology major and a desire to go to med school. So I've been working for the past 2 years full-time at the Children's Hospital doing cancer research.
Yeah.
And then about a year ago, I started just doing open mic nights around the city just to get the creative juices flowing again and reconnect to, like, my musical roots, I guess.
Yeah.
And the first open mic I did, Jim came up to me and was like, "Oh my God, you sound like Bonnie Raitt." and
Awesome.
then proceeded to ask me to be on this album. And my immediate response was no,
Yeah.
because I was like, "Who are you?
Yeah.
I don't know you." And I'm still going to go to med school. But no, after I started to see him around the scene more, and I met some of the people that played on this album, Andre Cole, Chiton Thomas, and then as we started to kind of run in the same circles, and I was like, oh, hold up, like maybe, what did you say about that New Orleans album?
Yeah.
I guess I'll sing on it. So yeah, that's how I met Jimmy.
Yeah. Okay. So Jim, was this you back in Philly just kind of a temporary thing? You back for personal stuff or for music, or what pulled you back into the Philly area?
Steady work for a minute.
Yeah.
I do law research investigation, trial consultancy. So I'm back here for that, and then I'm here about, like I said, maybe 8 more weeks, and I cannot wait to get back.
Yeah. And
the weather up here today is a nice January day for down there, so it seems so bad.
Oh, really? Okay. So when you move back, do you do the same thing there, or will you be able to go back and kind of re-immerse yourself into the music and get back into that more of a full-time thing?
Oh, yeah, man, totally. Yeah, I'll be doing that and then picking up some bartending gigs here and there in between, but yeah, I'll be down there playing, Yeah. I'll be hitting as soon as I get back, so I'm stoked.
And so the new record, Yellow River, the press note said it's your 4th in 36 months. Am I reading that right?
That's correct. Yeah. On Rope-A-Dope.
Yeah. So you've been busy then.
Yeah. I have a lot. I have like 5 more records I'm planning now.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to do another acoustic Delta album up here in August, and then already planning to go back to Esplanade and do the next one probably January again. And yeah, I have a lot I got to get out.
Yeah. Are these songs that are just kind of have come to you recently, or stored up and you're just not getting to record them, or how does that work?
Yeah, pretty much the latter.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Keep On, 15 years old. Not Alone's 15 years old. Spend My Life's newer. I mean, it was older, but I kind of lost it in transit between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, but still newer than other ones. So that's newer. So it's kind of like a collection. Torture Me goes back 20 years.
Okay.
So just finally able to get them done and get them done properly. I mean, like a lot of the stuff I've played forever. I've played Keep On forever. I've played Torture Me forever. There's other ones I've just always performed live or maybe did other versions of them prior, but I didn't have the opportunity and financially and everybody able to be in the same place at the same time. New Orleans, I'm talking about, to be able to do it.
Right.
So when the opportunity happened in January, pretty much the whole New Orleans crew was home on the record, and then other folks who just wasn't enough room to fit them in. There's only so many tracks and so many songs and so much money, and so I got in, most folks who, hoped to be on it or who wanted to be on it. And, Sean was able to come in. He was free over those same couple of days. And, Andre and Ariel and Jitan were free and Deej was free. So it was like, all right, well, these are the days. Like, these are the days.
Right, yeah.
And we cut probably 90% of it over 2 days at Esplanade. And then there was like an afternoon of overdubs in East Nards in Pennsylvania at Morningstar. And then a couple hours in New Orleans at Jake Eckert's studio.
Okay.
Just doing the trumpet stuff, and then all the horns with Jeff on All Time Religion. And so it was a pretty, came together quickly.
This is out now. How long has it been out?
The 28th, June 28th, it came out.
Okay, all right. And what does it look like for you to tour with this? Have you had a chance to do that, or will you tour? How does playing out with this music look like for you?
I've been pretty much nonstop in between everything else, reaching out to some of these more major booking agencies I've been back and forth with over the last couple of years, and trying to make something happen for, if not the end of this year, into 2020. To get this on the road, because everybody wants to tour, man. Everybody's out there working and hustling, and and everybody on the album is interested in taking it on the road. So I think it's kind of a catch-22 because this is my fourth record, and obviously I've been I'm fortunate for the folks I've been able to play with like over life. And I think some of these agencies are looking at not just the music and me, but they're looking at the roster and they're like, how much is this going to cost? What are we going to need to get? And how many of you want to wear? So I'm being honest, letting folks know, hey, you want to book me and Andre for a Delta Blues duet, wherever, like that's just us. If you want a 15-piece ensemble, 16-piece ensemble with this band, then you got that. If you want anything in between, like let me know. If you want a trio or quartet, what's your budget, and I'll fit the person around what you need. But the songs are still there.
Right.
The songs are the songs. The songs aren't going to change. So it's just like what's the budget and what can we get out? And I think trying to impress that on people. I think some of these agencies, like the first record, they kind of shy away to like, wow, like look at all these folks and like what everyone's done in their career, and it's like, where's the budget to move this for somebody who hasn't been moved yet? And I understand where that's coming from. I mean, it doesn't make it any less frustrating.
Sure, yeah.
The fact that I appreciate their stance, but so that's kind of where I am now, just trying to literally beat doors down, and even folks I got referrals to were like, we can't right now, or come back later. And it's like, what else I have to do? Get on the road. This is my fourth record.
Yeah.
And they're all different. I don't think anyone's better than any other, but they're all different.
Yeah.
And it's like, so that's I'm doing my bestest, Greg. I'm doing my bestest.
Do you feel like you have is there a particular venue or festival or type of club or environment where you fit better than another? Have you been able to determine that?
I mean, obviously festivals. I mean, it doesn't really matter. That's where the people are.
Right.
And in this state, nobody buys records really, which is sad. So there's no money off of that. I know. But at least to being able to play, in front of 50,000, 100,000 people, whatever. Like there's even if everybody spins one song on Spotify, you're coming out of there, and that's like I can't do that just living in New Orleans and just playing everywhere in New Orleans one night a week or two nights a week.
Yeah.
And I sure can't do that up in Philly.
Right.
Like it doesn't work like that up here. And it's just different. So until you get on the road with it, it's not going to, there's like that's what I got to break through next. Like whether it's we can play women's festivals or something like Lilith Fair. We can do jazz festivals. We can do blues festivals. We can do folk festivals. We can do Americana festivals. Like we're not limited by what we do and how we craft what somebody needs. Like it's just adaptable, and it's not catering or sacrificing what I'm doing or what anyone in the band is doing or singing or performing. I mean, and I think Yellow River is a snapshot of like the last three records.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You have the funk, you have the big band stuff, you have the more Americana stuff, you have so like what do you want? Like we'll do that, and we're happy to do it. So it's like I go back to it all the time, and I do one of his songs each album, like Ben Harper. Like where do you put Ben Harper?
Right.
Like what do you throw him into?
Yeah.
Right. I feel like it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But like we're not Ben Harper. He has 25 years on this. It's like I don't know how to tap into that.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're not the first person I've heard kind of express frustration with the way the culture is changing around music, and how do we navigate kind of the new landscape? Do you find it harder to write a collection of songs and albums worth of music, knowing that it's going to be harder for folks? If you buy a record, usually you're going to sit down and listen to the whole thing at least once. But with people not buying full-length albums anymore, is it harder to write music knowing that some things are not going to get heard very much?
For me, no. I think the frustration comes when I look at the totals and stats at the end of the month or quarter or week for what's moving and what's not and what's why.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like, like, I don't know, it's like, take somebody like Aerosmith. They're still probably getting, there's a billion streams to Dream On every day.
Yeah.
But who's listening to Uncle Salty today, right?
Right, yeah.
But so you just have to accept that's what it is, and you can't do anything about it. It's like, the songs are there, and thankfully between Ariel and Jitsun and Andre, you know, if anybody ever can't make something, well, there's two folks who can sing and do it proper.
Right.
Or there's